State Representative John Velis is a captain in the U.S. Army Reserves, and he recently learned he's being deployed to Afghanistan. He leaves in mid-June. This will be Velis' second deployment to the country in the nearly 9 years he's served in the military, and he spoke with me about that in the studio.
Last week, the latter part of last week, I got an email on my civilian email, in essence saying, check your military email, that orders have been processed. So I went to my military email and I found out that I was going to Afghanistan.
And it's the middle of June, right?
Correct.
And you don't know exactly how long the deployment will be for?
My gut tells me that I will be in Afghanistan, boots on ground, for 6 to 7 months.
And last time it was about 8 months, because this is your second deployment.
Correct.
What was the nature of the work that first time around?
The first time around, I was part of a task force. Very early on in the mobilization, we found they had known for years that we need to do something to help the Afghans build up their rule of law. There's an old saying in Afghanistan that a nation without laws is anarchy. And what had been happening in Afghanistan is that the legal system was perceived as being so corrupt, inefficient, not to mention that it's such a violent country, people couldn't get the type of redress they wanted. So what they were going to is these things called Taliban shadow courts, where the Taliban was essentially meeting in groups and they were acting as judge, jury, and in many cases, literally executioner. But the one thing they were giving that the government couldn't give was swift justice, and it was perceived as not being corrupt. And that was undermining what was going on there, because you could make an argument that, if you look at every functioning society, civilization, going back to the Greeks to the present, one of the things that's constantly been there consistently is some semblance of a rule of law. So the American government and our allies quickly learned that we needed to do something to give these people, if the Afghan government was going to have a fighting chance, we need to do something about the corruption and give them some place to redress their legal grievances. Probably something we take for granted here, the fact that you can just go to a courtroom and sue somebody, or if you run afoul of the law, if you're arrested, you're going to be prosecuted. It's not the case in other places, certainly not Afghanistan.
And when we look at the arc of the time that we've been there, since October of 2001, did you anticipate that the United States would be involved there this long?
I don't think anybody did. It's going on 17 years. America's longest war. We've been there a long time.
Yeah. Well, in March, there was a hearing before the U.S. Senate that was looking at our involvement overseas, and not a single question was raised at that time about Afghanistan. Do you think that, given the fact that our U.S. representatives didn't even ask a single question, does that reflect the fact that people overall in the United States aren't really as engaged in the fact, aren't really aware of the fact that we're still in Afghanistan?
What I can tell, just this morning, for example, at the Westfield YMCA, I was working out and I had about 3 people come up to me and say, "We're still in Afghanistan."
What's that like for you to get that question?
Well, I just think that it's, I certainly don't blame the people. I mean, and don't take this offensively. I think the media, to a large degree, I mean, if you look at what's going on.
It does not get as much attention as it did in 2001.
Nowhere near. If you look at the past year of events, the things that have happened that have gotten the overwhelming majority of news, I think very important things. But one of the things I don't think we should ever disregard is the fact that we still, right now, have between 14 and 15,000 troops in Afghanistan, places in Iraq. And I think there's a much larger discussion, but I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that less than 1/2% of American citizens serve in the military. So there's kind of this disconnect between the military and the civilian population right now versus time period when we have a draft. You look at World War II, we talk about the greatest generation. Well, one of the reasons it was the greatest generation was not just because of the service members, but also the war effort was a collective war effort. You had spouses, kids, you had people working in factories, building the ammunition. It was a real team effort. Whereas right now, I mean, you wouldn't know. And when we leave here, it's a beautiful day, the birds are chirping, we're gonna go about our day, and it's kind of an afterthought. Oh yeah. We have people in Iraq and Afghanistan, not to mention all the other places, Northern Africa. But I signed up for it. I love it.
And while you're in the reserves, you're also a state representative. So how closely do you follow the news, the interactions, what's happening overseas?
I follow it closely. I've always kind of been, a lot of people don't know this about me. Don't get me wrong, I love being a state rep. I love the domestic politics stuff. But ever since kind of a little boy, I've always loved international affairs. It was my major in college. I've always paid close attention to what's going on internationally. There's a lot of stuff going on out there. So very closely to answer your question. And then really even closer after I was in Afghanistan.
And so at this point, what can you say about the nature of what this deployment will look like? Do you even know at this point?
I don't know much. I mean, it happened on a Friday. I got orders, and it was Memorial Day weekend, which is a big weekend in the military. So right now, the next week and a half, I'm going to be having conversations, linking up with the people who are forward there right now in Afghanistan and finding more about the mission, what it entails. I mean, right now, the extent of what I know is probably what's out there in the media, what we're kind of doing, what some of our objectives are. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to go over there and do my part and do what I'm told.
And so is there anxiety for you in not knowing? Is it just part of the job, as you say?
It's just part of the job. I love it. I mean, every person who signed up, whether it's Army, Air Force, Marine Corps, Navy, when you sign up, particularly post 9/11, you know there's a very strong chance that you're going to end up in harm's way or in combat. And that's just the reality of the wars that we're in right now. It doesn't matter what you do in the service. If you go to a dangerous place, you signed up for it, and that's part of the job.
And when you learned that President Trump said, you know what, we actually are going to recommit to this area and rise the level of troops that are there, did you think that you would be deployed?
At that point, no, I didn't know. But again, there's always a possibility that you might get that email that says, check your military email.
And that's what's happened.
And I'm looking forward to it now. You know, I've kind of fully transitioned. I was in Boston yesterday for a formal roll call. I've fully transitioned now to kind of putting on that other hat of being a Captain Velis as opposed to State Rep Velis.
And so the state rep Velis had. What happens now here at home? You're running for re-election. It is unopposed. What were you thinking about how you would spend the next several months campaigning and preparing for re-election?
So it was one of those things that obviously I was going to have a presence throughout there. I show up at all events anyway. So if I had an opponent or not an opponent, I mean, my day tomorrow is the same way anyway. Now I'm going to Afghanistan. I think the real concern that some people may have is, you know, our state representatives in Afghanistan. So the way that I'm handling that is obviously I have my legislative aid, I have a fully functioning office, constituent services, and then we touched on this a little bit before, the amount of support that I've gotten from everybody in Massachusetts state government, from the Speaker of the House on down, both political parties in essence saying, hey, whatever Westfield needs, Westfield essentially is part of our district. The time you're gone. Got to the point where I was joking around with some of my colleagues where I said, Westfield's going to be better off with me deployed in Afghanistan.
I'm sure your colleagues don't think that. But
No.
were you surprised at the nature of support?
Yes, no. I mean, it was, I shouldn't say, I said yes initially, but no. I mean, I think there's a...
I mean, people are busy, right? Each state rep has a district for a reason, and it's a very busy area to cover, so I can see why you might say yes.
Yeah, but it was, I guess I was surprised at the sheer number of people that came up to me and said, anything you need. Even some of the reps that I don't know as well as know some of the other people. It's kind of a very, you know, you become very close with the people you sit around, almost probably like high school. But the number of people that were just lining up to come shake my hand, anything you need, how can we be of support? So
for your constituents, though, in Westfield, they should know that if they have a question or concern, reach out as normal to your office.
We have a fully functioning legislative office, and whatever they need, for all intents and purposes, nothing is changing with my office. If anything, there's going to be more people helping out because the Speaker is going to be sending people our way. The colleagues are going to be stepping in. So again, the people of Westfield, when I leave in a couple of weeks, they are going to be they're going to be in a good place during my absence.
For you, how do you balance that, knowing that you're an active state representative here at home, but you're serving a very vital function for this country in a very dangerous place? How do you balance those two?
I've always said, even when I was running for office, that being in the service still, it kind of gives me an advantage because I think that, particularly in veterans issues and stuff like that, having a foot in both doors, it allows me to see firsthand. When we talk about veterans issues, when we talk about other issues, I mean, I can tell you firsthand what's going on with that stuff. But it's my constituents, Westfield's a very patriotic place, as are other places. I would venture to say that a lot of my constituents probably appreciate the fact that I still serve. It's a big part of my life. As I always tell people, the biggest honor that I have is when I get to put on that United States Army uniform. So it's a huge part of my life.
Well, thank you very much for your service, and be safe over there.
Thank you for having me.